Hello and welcome to Elvinley Railways. This is about my 5-inch gauge railway. It was built a long time before the Ivy Railway, probably nearly 3.5 years ago now. It's looking pretty forlorn and overgrown. It's been a little bit abandoned since I started on the Ivy Railway 2 years ago. It does still get run occasionally. You can see where it used to be a figure of 8. It went over a very scary viaduct, which you'll see later. Very overgrown at the moment. Some of the track was lifted and the rails were used for the Ivy Railway. This viaduct looks scary enough, but the other one was really bad. There was a set of points just here which I lifted and re-gauged for the Ivy Railway. It's looking nicely settled in just there. This was a run that I did the other day, so you can get to see the whole line as it is now. This part used to be a really bad gradient, but it was levelled out. There's still a little bit of a climb there. The locomotive's Maxitrak Ruston, which you used to be able to buy in kit form, but this one had already been made. When I bought it, I went down to Maxitrak to pick it up in about 2008, I think it was, maybe a bit before. Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm frantically waggling the switches there, but yeah, you can see the control panel. You can see where I've moved the throttle there to just under the roof. Did have working horns, but they stopped working. But the light works. Bought that as an add-on later on. It just runs from one gel battery. And the name plates and the other decals were things that I put on later on. Painted the running board. There you can see the mechanism, which is 2 motors with metal gears going on to Delrin gears on the wheels. It's a nice looking little engine, very simple, very small really, as you'll be able to see. That's it. If you're a very, very small person, that's the view you'll get. If you're an ant, that's the view you'll get. Track's surprisingly hard wearing for aluminium on plastic sleepers. Lasts for years and years. when Laurie came, he had a little ride on it, which was on one of the videos, and I went as a passenger on this line for the first time. It's a little bit of a squash in places. One of the wagons was Maxitrak, and the other one was more scratch built really, but I put the Maxitrak bogies on that running car, and then the bogies on the Maxitrak wagon are Ride on Railways bogies. All very confusing. Oops. Yeah, that can happen quite frequently when the track is very poorly maintained. At least with 5-inch gauge it's easy to put back on. Ivy is very heavy when it comes off, and Elizabeth's even worse. This is how it looked a while back before it got so wild. Now you can see the crossing over the septic tank, and just before the viaduct was finished, and when the viaduct was finished, with the massive drop the other side, as you can see there. Pretty scary. About 8-foot drop, I think, at least. A rainy day running the steam, and a bit of a nicer day. So that's the Sweet Pea Loco. That's a bit heavier than the Ruston. And this is a full run from when it was a figure of 8. But if you've got a fear of heights, maybe look away in a sec. Not sure why I was driving so fast. Right, look away now. This is a run much later from the opposite direction. You can see I tried to make things a little bit less scary. You could also go left there just to carry on round, which is the way it is now. These curves were very tight, as well as it being way up in the air. I built this sort of twig arrangement to try and make it seem a bit less scary, but wasn't that effective. That's when it was quite a gradient up that part. That's my excuse. And this is where it used to live, this railway, in my old house near Weston-super-Mare. I had a very small garden, but managed to fit a 5-inch gauge railway in it. You hear that the Ruston has some sound effects going there. It was a nice little railway, but you sort of did the lap in about 10 seconds. And there's my Sweet Pea loco running around it. I used the track from this and some extra track that I bought to make the railway that I've got now. And here's a run in the recently fallen snow, not long before it was taken up. So I hope you enjoy this video, and let me know if you want to see more of this. Thanks a lot.